So, today's class is about the future. So when we want to talk about a future plan or intention, we can use going to talk about a future plan. So up to now, we have used the present continuous to talk about a future plan or intention. So for example, I'm playing football this afternoon. So we have our expression of time in the future, like a plan. And here we have the present continuous. Okay, so you have the verb be, which is number one, the verb to play, and ing. I'm playing football this afternoon. And we have our expression of time in the future. Mary's seeing her friends tonight. So again, tonight tells us that it's a plan in the future. Okay, and we have the verb be. So Mary is. Mary's. We have just made it short here. So we have the verb be for here. This is. The verb to see and the verb and the ing form. Okay, so we have the present continuous to talk about a future plan. Mary's seeing her friends tonight. Okay, so we can also use going to express a future plan or intention. Okay, so I want to just put up a sentence on the board. And we can see if there is any differences between the two sentences. Okay? Okay. So, one sentence. Okay, so we have two sentences on the board. So my question is, do these two sentences mean the same thing? Are there any differences between these sentences? She's leaving tomorrow, so we have our future plan. Okay, and you can see this is present continuous because you have the verb be, the verb leave, and ing. She's leaving tomorrow. She's going to leave tomorrow. Okay, so now we have the verb be, which is, plus going to, plus the main verb. Okay, whereas here we have the verb be, plus the verb leave, whatever verb you're using, plus ing. So, both these sentences say the same thing. There's very little difference between these sentences. Only with the first one, we are using the present continuous to talk about a future plan or intention. And the second sentence, we are using going to talk about a future plan or intention. So just for now, for this lesson, we are going to focus on going to, and already we can see that we use the verb be plus going to, and if you have a verb after going to, you just use the main verb. Okay, the main verb. So let's have a look at some examples of when we use going to. Okay, so this is the future with going to. Now, and we know we use the verb be plus going to, and if you use a verb after this, it's the main verb. No changes, nothing else, no different forms, just the main verb, the name of the verb. Okay? Alright, so when do we use go into? Okay? So again, we use go into for two reasons. Okay? And the first one is to express a person's plans and intentions. Okay? To talk about or to express a person's plans or intentions, what they want to do in the future. Okay, we use go into. Okay, when else do we use go into? So we also use go into when you can see now that something is sure to happen in the future. Okay, you can see now that something is sure to happen in the future. It's going to fall. Okay, so when you can see now that something is sure, it's almost definite to happen in the future. And this future could be just minutes away. So this is almost like a prediction, okay? So for example, you could say, oh, it's going to rain. So it's going to rain. Okay. And with something like this sentence, you can see now. So you look at the clouds and you can talk about something that you are sure is going to happen next. Oh, it's going to rain. Okay, so we have the verb be here, which is plus go into, okay, and rain. Okay. Okay. Now maybe over here, when we use go into to express a person's plans or intentions, you could say, let's put up an example. My husband's going to make dinner this evening. Okay, all right, so again you have the verb be, because this is, and you have go into, and then you have the verb make. So this is a plan or intention, and a plan is something that you have an intention to do in the future. Okay, now the future could be in a few hours, it could be later that day, in a couple of days. So my husband's going to make dinner this evening, and new sentence, I'm going to clean up. Okay, so you have the verb be, which here is am, okay, plus go into, plus the verb clean. Okay, so we can see here how we use the verb go into. We use this with the verb be plus go into plus your main verb. Okay. Okay. Now, one thing to think about, okay, is when we use the verbs come and go, we generally use these verbs in the present continuous form for the future. We don't tend to use going to go, going to come. Now you do hear that, it's not incorrect, but for most of the time people use the present continuous when they talk about the verb go and the verb come. Okay, so let's have a look at that. The verb go and the verb come. Okay, so we want to say about a future plan or intention, so we could say we're going to Spain in August. Okay, and here we could say they're they're coming home in September. Okay, so here we're using the verb go. You would imagine that we would say we are going to go to Spain in August. Now, both of these expressions are correct, but we tend to use the present continuous more to talk about the future forms of go. So this would be more common. So you have the verb be plus the verb go plus ing. Okay, we're going to go to Spain in August. It's a very long sentence, it's a big mouthful. It's correct, it's just this is more common to say. Okay, same with the verb come. Okay, they're coming home in September. Okay, they're coming home in September. Again, you have the verb be plus the verb come plus ing. Okay, now you would imagine using this verb with this rule that we would say they're going, using this rule, going to come home in September. Now, like I said before, this is not incorrect. This is a perfect grammatical sentence, but this is more commonly used when we use the verb come for a future plan. We can say use the present continuous for this reason. Okay, so they're just maybe two verbs to think about. Okay, so just another thing. When we use go into, okay, it can also answer the question why. Okay, I'll explain that now. Okay, so we call this the infinitive of purpose. Okay, so using go into explains why you do something. Okay, it answers the question why. Okay, so when we can use, for example, we can say, I'm going to Egypt to see the pyramids. Okay, so let's put that up here. I'm going to Egypt to see the pyramids. So you can see it explains why. I'm going to Egypt because I want to see the pyramids. That's a very long mouthful, a very long sentence. So by using going to and the infinitive, this is the infinitive. The infinitive of the verb is to plus the verb. Okay? This is called the infinitive. It's not the main verb, it's the infinitive of the verb. So when we use going to plus infinitive, which is what we're doing here, we have going to plus infinitive. This is called infinitive of purpose. Why? Okay? It explains the reason why you do something. Okay? So I'm going to Egypt to see the pyramids. Okay? I'm going to Clonmel to do some shopping. Okay? I'm going to the shop to buy some food. Otherwise you could say I'm going to the shop because I want to buy some food. So we can use the infinitive here to explain why you do something. Okay, and this is where again very common. Instead of saying he's going to go to Egypt because he wants to see the pyramids, we can just say, use the infinitive, he's going to Egypt to see the pyramids. I'm going to Spain to relax by a swimming pool. Okay, so another example of using the future with going to plus the infinitive is maybe we're going to Clonmel to buy some food. Okay, so here we have going to for a future plan, and we are using the infinitive form of the verb buy here. So this is the infinitive with to plus infinitive. So this is the infinitive form to buy. Okay, when we use to plus the infinitive, it explains why you do something. Okay, so for example, we're going to Clonmel because we want to buy some food, but by saying, using the infinitive to buy, you're also explaining why you're going to Clonmel. We're going to Clonmel to buy some food. Okay, so I hope that helps, and tune in next time for more on going to. Thank you.